Hello, welcome to Excel Strategies YouTube channel. We're going to solve ModelOff data analysis problem using Access SQL. Those of you who do not know, ModelOff is a challenging annual competition for students and professionals that test their financial modeling skills. SQL, or a structured query language, is a computer language that is used to work with data stored in relational databases such as Microsoft Access. As part of this problem, let's imagine us working as a data analyst for a leading hardware retailer. We were asked to analyze recent sales data for one of our locations. The data presented covers the first 6 months of 2013 and has a line for each different item type sold on each invoice. One or more lines may be associated with a single invoice. Note that each line also has a quantity field that represents the quantity of that particular item type sold on that invoice. Each invoice is associated with one manager on duty and one sales assistant. So looking at the snapshot of the data presented, we can see that it was prepared in Microsoft Excel. ModelOff, being a financial modeling competition, envisions that people would use Excel to resolve this problem. However, since it is a data analysis problem, let's use a database to solve it. In our case, that database will be Microsoft Access. To get started, let's visit ModelOff website, navigate to the Past Questions section, find the data analysis problem, download the sample Excel workbook, and then import that data into an Access database. So we would have to go to the External Data ribbon, select Excel, find the location of our file, select the file, click Open, click OK, and proceed with the wizard. So the first message that we're seeing is telling us that Access will automatically rename some of the field names. Then Access automatically recognize a data type within the date column. Let's assign some primary keys, and let's rename our table to Table ModelOff. Let's finish, and we're done. Now we have our data stored in Access database, and we can create Access queries and use Access SQL to answer the questions that ModelOff is asking us. To create a new query, we need to go to the Create menu, select Query Design, choose our table, and then switch to the SQL view. So the first question that ModelOff is asking us is the following. Over the entire analysis period, what was the quantity of item 10 sold while John Jones was the manager on duty? Select the closest answer. We know that we need to select the total, or in other words, sum of units, or in other terms, quantity, from the table ModelOff. We also need to specify our criteria. The first criterion is where item code equals to 10. Notice that the item code is enclosed into brackets because Access does not recognize field names that are more than one word in length. The second criterion is manager in duty equals to John Jones. So, and manager in duty also enclosed in two brackets equals to John Jones. Hopefully that should give us the answer that we need. So at this time we need to run this query, and the answer is 554, which is the closest number to 600, and the answer for this question is B. The next question is, over the entire analysis period, what were the 3 highest selling items by quantity? So let's go back to the SQL view and resolve this question as well. Let's introduce the command called top, and we need to select top 3 item codes. Those of you who are familiar with Excel pivot tables, there is a filtering option in the pivot tables that is also similar to this Access feature. Top 3 are just displaying the top 3 items, in this case top 3 item codes, depending on the sort order that we will specify. So select top 3 item codes from table ModelOff, we need to group by that item code as well. And the next step is we need to specify our sorting order, and Access SQL equivalent is the order by clause by sum of quantity in descending order. So when we run this, the answer that we're getting is item codes are 17, 40, and 8, and selecting from the list of possible answers, the answer is A. Let's move on. The next question is, over the entire analysis period, which salesperson sold the highest cumulative quantity of a single item, and which item was it? To answer this question, we will also continue using the top keyword, but we will change that top 3 to top 1 because we only need to know the name of one salesperson and the associating item code that they sold. So top 1 salesperson item code from our table. The group by clause now is going to include both the salesperson as well as item code. The order by clause is going to be the same. So we're going to select the salesperson that sold the highest number of units and the associating item for those units. So when we run this query, it looks like the salesperson is Kelly and the item is 17. Again, our answer is A. Question number 4. What was the salesperson Wendell's total sales over the analysis period? Select the closest answer. Going back to the SQL view. In order to retrieve the total sales for a particular item, we actually have to perform a calculation. We have to multiply sales price per unit times quantity, which should give us the total sales. So let's do that first. So we're going to do the select sum for total. Within sum, we're going to select sales price per unit times quantity, close parentheses, from our table, where salesperson, and in this case we only know the salesperson first name, we don't know their last name, so we can use the keyword like. We can use the wildcard and say Wendell and another wildcard. Technically speaking, we only need the wildcard after Wendell, but just in case, we can use both wildcards. When we run this code, the answer that we're getting is $316,759.67 in sales, and the closest number to that is C. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos and keep in touch on social media.